One issue that was been bugging me, this issue, and I talk about smoking. I'm not recommending anybody pick up tobacco, but when I talk about my beef with what's going on with the, demonizing, villainizing smokers. I mean, what it smacks of is a passage from Scripture where Jesus talks about these hypocrites that strain out a gnat, right, from their drinks, right, to strain out, don't want the least thing impure going in their beverages, um, but they'll swallow a camel. You use that as a metaphor, right? And that's what I see it as. They make this big deal about this thing. Listen, you got people that are inculcated, brainwashed, indoctrinated in the healthcare industry, and they believe a certain way, and they fully believe in vaccines because that's the way they've been trained. You understand? These are in their minds, they are top of the state of the art medical knowledge and everything, right? So they're big proponents of vaccines, and all vaccines are good, and the risk far out, the benefits far outweigh the risks and all that sort of thing, right? Well, that's the way they're trained. But if you talk to somebody that's trained in nutrition and health and seeing the body as a machine and working with the body's own natural immune systems and stuff like that, they'll have a whole other take. Okay? So it's a big deal how you think about this stuff. And if I start counting, maybe I'll start putting a notch in my belt. Every time I find out a younger man than me dies that was a non-smoker, okay, I knew a guy several years ago. Okay, I had a couple of years on him. And he was strong as an ox one day. He didn't smoke. He was a mobile mechanic, my neighbor's mechanic. I was his friend. And the next day I found out he was dead. Heart attack took his life. And he probably would have passed a physical, no problem. What killed him? Stress about finances. We talked a little about that. He was going through some stuff. And this stuff freaks people out. The idea of actually being, a failure financially and ending up homeless, and your whole family has no respect for you anymore. And it's a big deal to people. So instead of killing themselves, they kind of inadvertently, maybe subconscious, semi-consciously, they will themselves dead. I don't know what's going on here, but I don't have any problem. Listen, don't let that kind of stuff bug you, man. The money, just remember, if God had his way, you'd be born rich. Okay, it has nothing to do with money, but you'd be born wealthy. It has nothing to do with money, but you'd be born prosperous. It has nothing to do with money. Do you understand? But you'd be born free. Do you understand? It has nothing to do with money, but you'd be born secure. Do you get it? But in this world, all those things have everything to do with money. But this world is not the way God would have shaped it. This is hell. This is what Satan has created. And it's no small miracle that any of us can contend and cope with this scene, man. And I've told you the stuff that helps me. I'm a good guy, man. I want the best for everybody. If I had my way, it'd be God's way. How would that be? You'd be born free. Do you understand? Yeah, financially free. Because if you're not financially free, you're certainly not absolutely free, are you? There's strings attached. There's conditions attached. That's not absolute freedom. So that's what I would have for everybody. And I'm fine. I feel great. See, my wealth is being withheld from me by evil men that want to oppress me, that hate me, that are at enmity with God himself. Do you understand? That want to exalt themselves. This is the whole idea behind Satan, wants to exalt his throne above God's, and it ain't going to happen. The good guys are going to win this thing. Just understand that. Everybody understand what's going on here. The good guys are going to win. By appearances, oh, well, no way, man. Obviously, the bad guys just keeps getting more and more power every day. The wealth imbalance keeps growing. Poverty keeps growing. The threat of war keeps growing. Instability around the world keeps growing. National debt, international debt keeps growing. Trade wars and problem. Venezuela's falling apart. Central America's falling apart. South America. Oh, it's just, no, well, the problem's overwhelming. Yeah, just, accept your lot and just be miserable and filled with fear. And, So this is probably what's killing people. But another thing, listen, a little poison. What do you think vaccines are? Live viruses a lot of times, right? So they're injecting people with poisons. Some people will tell you, hey, listen, garlic itself is classified as a poison. Garlic. And a lot of people say, oh, that's a medicinal food, garlic. A little bit, right, in small doses, but if you do too much, right, it's classified as a poison. Look it up. I'm not making anything up. Oleander, very toxic, poisonous plant. But some people believe in small enough doses it can be a cure for cancer, I think is the disease it'll cure. So you understand that it's all relative, okay? Because poison in small doses, I mean, look at this guy just recently that died at 112. And people ask, well, what do you attribute your longevity to? And the guy, well, smoking cigars and drinking whiskey. Do you hear the medical profession pick up on that? They say, no, well, that's an exception. And we make generalizations. Okay, well, at least admit you're making generalizations. Will you talk about having a modicum of self-control and say, well, don't chain smoke? Well, don't smoke 2 packs a day. Are you telling people that maybe that's the answer? But no, as more and more people have quit, they're turned off smoking, they make a bigger push, right? They're taking, we got to double the tax. We got to double the cost of cigarettes. Take all that money and make all these ads and really make them look foolish. What idiot would ever still smoke knowing what we know? And look at this woman. She's talking like a demon. And, I mean, good God, you idiot. You smoke and you're telling people, oh, my God, you're the worst among men. You see, they turn a molehill into a mountain. Really, what about the junk food? What about the amputations from sugar diabetes? What about the poisonous food, man? All kinds of chemicals and additives and crap, all this GMO junk, man. They got the EPA saying that public health is number one. That, we can't live without Roundup. We got to have glyphosates, and even though it goes in your well water, and we got illegitimate people, or we got illiterate people spraying this stuff, and they don't know that you're not supposed to spray it on a windy day. And then your neighbor's breathing this stuff unknowingly. Next thing you know, he's got non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. All this is science I'm talking about. They've lost court cases because the judge and juries are looking at the science. But yet the EPA said, oh no, we can't live without it. Can't feed the world's population without Roundup. It's a weed killer, for God's sake. It's a freaking herbicide. Of course we can live without the crap. Don't be an idiot. Don't be liars. There's so much disingenuity out there. Okay? I don't even know if that's a word. Because ingenuity is a good thing, but they're being disingenuous. They're being intellectually dishonest. The world's rife with this kind of, it's emblematic of how the entire system it runs. Okay? Intellectual dishonesty. It's a sophisticated, fancy way to say they're a bunch of liars running the scene. Your body is like a machine, my friends. That's it. As simple as that. Learn about it. I could tell you right now, in a nutshell, if somebody's got weight problems, here's what you do. Make sure you're getting plenty of iodine. Okay, look into it. Get your blood checked if you want, get diagnosed. Okay, but what you do about it is you make sure you're getting adequate, at least, iodine. The people that live the longest in the world are eating plenty of fish and seafood, right? We all know that. Look at the statistics. So, yes, they're generalizations, but in the context, it's all prudent information. And the other thing is, don't put too much meat in your body. You don't want a lot of meat-on-meat contact, beef and all this stuff. Okay, so you don't want that. You don't want gut cancer, right? So you want to keep your blood clean. You think like your body. What is it, like fruits and vegetables and clean proteins and carbohydrates and all this kind of stuff, the root vegetables and all this kind of stuff. It likes the grains and nuts and seeds. Think like your body, like a machine. And then let yourself get hungry. Okay, this is one of the things behind the fasting, the health, the implications of fasting, inference. Okay, is that when you let your body get hungry, let's say you eat a really good meal and then you let yourself get hungry, you're sweeping out your guts, your blood, your organs, okay, with good stuff, purifying your bloodstream, rejuvenating your cells, and that's the best thing you could do. Make sure you're getting plenty of B complex. You got weight issues, you got the thyroid issue, okay. It's not hard, but the junk food, I mean, never do diet soda pop with this aspartame. It's been proven now to make people gain weight. Is that crazy? They say it's diet. You're supposed to be able to lose weight on it. It's proven to cause people to gain weight. Is that nuts? So ladies, man, I go to the supermarket, I see all these overweight, unhealthy looking women. I think, well, ladies, come on, you could be beautiful, every one of you, if you look healthy. So please do something. I mean, it's not hard. I can eat all I want. I can eat all the fats and everything else I want. because I'm thinking like my body, and I know that my body is a machine. So, I mean, you got to drink